Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. I hope you're having a great day. And if you're over 40 and you're frustrated with blood pressure, weight, blood sugar cravings, or energy, I want you to hear this because there's a good chance you've been trying to fix the wrong problem. I know that I was for years. If I told you there was one hidden problem that is driving most chronic disease that we're given tic tacs, if you will, to treat symptoms, to manage symptoms, but there was a better way and one underlying cause to most of those problems. Would that be something new? Something you hadn't heard from your doctor? Because I know I was frustrated going to my doctor. I wasn't a good patient. I'm not a good patient, I should say, because I've learned too much and realized that what they've been taught is simply to diagnose what our symptom is and to write us a little note to go pick up some Tic Tacs in order to manage that problem. But managing a number with a Tic Tac is not the solution. We must get down to what is the cause. And Dr. Benjamin Bikman, he wrote this book right here, Why We Get Sick. And at the top, it says the hidden epidemic to the root of most chronic disease. Now, at first I thought, that's a little crazy, until I read it and talked to hundreds of people now over the past year and a half who have focused on that root cause and seen incredible results of reversing and oftentimes eliminating the problem they had. And that's unheard of. When was the last time you went to a medical professional and they asked you about the root cause, about what you were doing or what that root cause was and how they could help you fix the actual cause rather than just managing a symptom? When you find out how the body works, what insulin's role is, and when you become insulin resistant, how much that impacts your overall health. I was introduced to something that I started taking about a year and a half ago that totally changed my health and allowed me to reclaim my health. Just a simple daily reset, a simple drink that after a week of seeing my son carrying this around in his office, I asked him, what is that? And when he told me, I wasn't too happy because at the time I was 57, overweight, high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, had been for a few years, high cholesterol, my sleep was terrible, I had skin tags. I just didn't feel good. So I started this dang protocol the next day. And within 5 days, I was blown away. Because my daily routine, as much as I hate to admit this, used to be early in the morning, I would go directly to Starbucks first thing when I got out of bed to get a very sugary caramel macchiato. And then once I went home, did a few things, showered. By the time I was headed to the office around 8 o'clock, I would stop at the convenience store on the corner and grab a 32-ounce Dr. Pepper. And oftentimes maybe a chocolate donut or other type of snacks, terrible processed food. But on day 5, after starting this protocol, I realized I hadn't gone to Starbucks and I hadn't gotten a Dr. Pepper and I hadn't even thought about it. I went into this without thinking, I'm going to improve here. I'm going to stop drinking this terrible sugary drink. I didn't do that, but that's what happened. And that's what caught my attention. So then I decided I had to learn more. And that's when I picked up this book and started to read it. And when I started to understand more about how the body works, how insulin resistance impacts our cells so that they aren't absorbing glucose anymore, that our body continues to pump out insulin. And every time that we eat something, that spikes our blood sugar. So years ago, I was on another program about 7, 8 years ago that encouraged eating every 2 to 3 hours to keep your metabolism going. Well, that was just continuing to spike up my insulin. So it was spike, crash, all throughout the day. I found that wasn't that effective, and I didn't have very good results. That program kept you very calorie deficient, so I did lose some weight, but my metabolic health did not improve. That's what's different about the Simple Daily Reset I use now, all natural plant-based nutraceutical that has such an impact. In fact, let me show you what insulin resistance has effects. It impacts so many different things. Type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, cancer, hypertension. I mean, you can read them. High cholesterol, PCOS, ED, Alzheimer's, dementia, blindness, brain fog, kidneys, fatty liver, neuropathy. I mean, I cannot tell you about the customers that I have that have had incredible success with neuropathy, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, definitely weight, cravings, ED, women with PCOS. I mean, it's absolutely incredible how much of an impact this has on literally, from my experience, 9 out of 10 people. And I'm not sure that other 10% were following the protocol. And it's not that difficult. In fact, you simply start by just drinking this first thing in the morning instead of the coffee. Now, this is what I have. It makes it very easy to include intermittent fasting, which is a key piece. Even if you weren't taking this protocol, it has a huge impact on our bodies. But I didn't enjoy fasting, even intermittent fasting. But now it's simple. I mean, right now it's 10 a.m. Mountain Time. I haven't even thought about eating yet. I've just been sipping on my yerba mate tea because it reduces cravings. And then I take this simple fiber before each meal because today, the food that we eat is so highly processed that all the fiber is stripped out of it. And fiber is essential to gut health, help stabilize glucose. So when we add those two things together, that's why it has such a positive impact, because it makes the body insulin sensitive again. And then after lunch, I simply just make me one more of these and sip on that throughout the afternoon. You can sip on it if you choose. You can drink it as fast as you'd like, as long as you just get it in your body. It is that simple. But you can see the symptoms and conditions similar to the prior image I showed. But that's me. Dropped 28 pounds in just over 90 days without changing my diet, meaning I didn't cut out carbs. I didn't focus on counting calories. I ate what I wanted. I just didn't have a desire for the caramel macchiato, the Dr. Pepper, the snacking. That all disappeared, which was just, like I said, it blew my mind. Here's a larger image of my before and after, and that's 5 months ago. It's even improved since then. I want to share with you a few mind-blowing pictures of some other folks that have had incredible results. This first one, you're not really going to believe it. It's that incredible, and it's a little bit gross, so prepare yourselves. But this is a real situation where this gentleman almost died. They were talking about cutting off his foot. He had spent over $180K in several months on surgeries and all sorts of medical treatments. So this was January of 2025. then he started the simple daily reset. And 3.5 months after starting it, that is what his foot looks like. The traditional medicine, they didn't know how to fix it. So it was a surgery here, a surgery there. And the next step was to cut off his foot. Think about that. That is insane. We've got to start asking better questions. And we've got a lot of doctors who are starting to wake up to these things and starting to understand that maybe, just maybe, the way the AMA has educated them by focusing simply on what is the problem and what Tic Tac is made to help with that symptom. Not improve it, not get rid of it. Just help with a number or help with a symptom that down the road, a year or two, a decade, whatever, they're going to have bigger problems and other problems. That is messed up. But if you can fix a root cause that impacts most chronic disease, we see incredible results. Look at this. No more meds, high blood pressure, IBS, acid reflux, migraines, insomnia, gone, down 2 pant sizes, down 2 shirt sizes. No more meds. I was on 3 meds. After 4 months, I was not on anything. In fact, one of the meds that I was on was Adderall. I had been trying to get off that for years. And every time the doctor would have me taper down, it would throw me into a tailspin from a depression standpoint. I hated it. So after 9 years on that nasty stuff, it really didn't do much for me, honestly. By just taking this without even consulting my doctor. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what you do. That was my choice. I started to cut the pills I was taking twice a day in half. 2 weeks later, I stopped taking them. I literally had no negative side effects that I could feel at all. And it's been 10 months since I've had an Adderall. I have more energy, feel better, have better focus than I did when I was taking that stuff. Who knows any of the long-term side effects that maybe could manifest from taking that for 9 years. Now, am I anti-medication? Absolutely not. Is there a time and a place for certain ones? Probably. But I'm anti-managed symptoms with a Tic Tac. You know, when docs go to medical school, do you know they don't even have a full day? I think it's a couple of hours on nutrition. That is it. That should tell us everything we need to know right there. I mean, that is absolutely insane. How can you go to medical school and treat people without focusing on nutrition? I mean, God gave us an incredible body that I believe has the ability to heal itself. I have no question about that. And I also believe he gave us everything we need on this planet to go in the body. So everything else, I think, is just total excuse my language, bullshit. And there's got to be some other agenda behind it. I'm not going to get into that stuff, but I've done enough research and seen enough things that, to me, there's no question about it. And we can look at just what's taken place recently, that the truth about what was going on with the 2020 situation and the doc behind that. Some pretty sick and evil revelations are coming to light now. The truth of what was really happening there. It's pretty sick and pretty sad, and it's frankly wrong. When we can put something that is all natural, which is everything the way God creates it, that can heal the body. So by simply helping the body use the insulin hormone that pushes glucose through the blood into the cells, when you can open that lock to those cells that have been locked down with rusty old locks that the key can't fit in and turn, when you can clean up that rust, get that key back in and open those cells so they can function properly, then your body will start burning fat for fuel rather than storing it, and allow the body to do what it's meant to do. Let me show you Dennis. This is a pretty crazy one too. His story in 2021, he was diagnosed with MS. 3 weeks in ICU. His BP was 247 over 171. He was in kidney failure. He was 282 pounds. 8 months later, on this simple daily reset, his MS is now in remission. Kidneys have improved 12% off of 8 medication. Blood pressure is very good. And he's currently 192 pounds. He was down 90 pounds and healthy. If you know someone on the fence about any of these issues, share my story. I mean, this is incredible. There's a lot of good products out there. In fact, I've got a cover full of other products that I believe probably are of good quality. But why are they still in my cupboard? Because I didn't feel or notice a change after taking them for a month or two, so I stopped. But when I started this simple daily reset, I literally felt a change in 48 hours from a craving standpoint, from an energy standpoint. Now, the other things related to prediabetes and high blood pressure, that took, 2 to 3 months before I saw those things change. But because it had such a big impact initially, I didn't ever consider not getting it the next month and the next month. And personally, I will continue to drink this the rest of my life because from a preventative standpoint and how good it is for the body, I know I'm putting something that is incredibly good in my body. And it's helping my body to stay healthy. Take a look. Here's just another example of a whole bunch of different people with so many incredible results. I mean, this goes on and on and on. Now, I want to have you hear from an actual doctor. It's just a short 60-second clip, but this is an actual MD. And we've got lots and lots of doctors involved with us who now are suggesting this product, this protocol, because it's simple and it's effective and it flat out works. There's no contraindications with any medications. So there's no reason not to try it. Not only that, the company is so confident in this product that they offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. Now, that's unheard of. Listen to Dr. Hendrickson.
I am that doctor that everybody wants to say. I went to my doctor and they tried to give me medications. I was the one doing it. That's what I knew how to do. I knew how to actually write the prescriptions and end up needing prescriptions for the side effects and the drug interactions. That's what I knew. It wasn't until I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, there's got to be more than this. In a couple years, I'm going to be 50. I don't want this life. I don't want to look like these people. I have a family history of type 2 diabetes. And so I actually got certified in lifestyle medicine. That's about going after the root causes of conditions. And I started going on social media, and that's how I got connected with Anne-Marie, who said, hey, have you heard about these products that can help you help your people like you're trying to tell them? Of course, I thought you were just trying to sell me something. But when I was able to use these products and get people to latch onto the lifestyle changes, I saw people's A1Cs come down much quicker than I was ever able to do for 20 years. So when you actually see these results, it became a no-brainer. I started using it. I was able to get off of my blood pressure medicine after 2 months. I was able to take my brother out the ICU with his uncontrolled type 2 diabetes and put him on these products and got his sugars down to where he didn't need his insulin, his Trulicity, his metformin. I have my 72-year-old mom who has MS, who's bouncing around playing pickleball, no longer with her leg dragging and wearing her high heels, and enjoying what these products are doing with me.
That's from an MD. I mean, that is incredible. When you have something that literally changes people's lives, I don't know about you, but that's more fulfilling than anything when you can truly help somebody, specifically their health. Again, the problem starts when insulin has to knock on those cell doors over and over again and they just can't get in. those cells stop responding, and then insulin has to compensate, and it's continually produced. And that's where insulin resistance comes in. That's why energy crashes, hunger increases, and blood sugar worsens, which leads to so many of the health problems we face. Again, we know healthcare is very good at managing disease. Why should we be managing? We should be curing. But a cured patient is lost revenue. I don't know about you. Who wants to be on meds? They don't fix anything. They just mask the problem and don't ever fix the cause. How many of you have any of the things that we've discussed? Put in the chat the number of symptoms that you're dealing with related to insulin resistance. Stubborn weight, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, fatty liver disease, PCOS, ED. Okay, Tom, 3. Yeah, I was 5. Or no, I had 6 of the issues. It's crazy. But it's time we realize that we don't have to continue to feel the way we feel and keep taking those Tic Tacs every single day and being on a membership that I don't want to be part of. I mean, it's crazy how we've been conditioned to stop thinking and just blindly believing people in figures of authority, professionals. We need to ask questions. And when you ask questions, common sense kicks in pretty quickly. When you get diagnosed with a problem and you're told, here's the paper that you need to now take every single month to pick up your Tic Tacs for the rest of your life, that doesn't make any sense. But that's what we're told about most of the issues listed right here. That is just, it's absolutely sick. Well, folks, I've got to cut this one short because I do have a call in 5 minutes. So I'll be back later today. And I'm also going to be testing things because I have a feeling that this is not broadcasting on a couple of the platforms that it should be. If you've heard this, you're listening, and you'd like to know about this simple daily reset, please send me a DM, or you can go to any of my profiles and just look for this information right there. Not saying that some profiles, platforms don't like that, but you can just click to any of my bios and see what, see that you can find the information by clicking right there, learn more about this, or send me a DM. Let me know kind of what your situation is, what you're struggling with, or what, you'd like to address, and I'll see how I can help you. But thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.